All right, we can get started. So as you can see in this picture, you can keep drawing. I'm not yet starting, but you can see that how we can approach this painting. I think the best part of this painting is going to be use of so many colors that someone who's like me, who wants to use all the tubes of their whatever they have, is going to be in for a treat today, because we can use so much and you don't have to really follow the color palette that I have. Um, the whole theme is so magical and so whimsical that you can actually use your own imagination and make this your own painting. Most importantly, what we're going to do is we're going to do a lot of overlap of colors here. As you can see that there's yellow here, there's yellow on the face, there's pink here, there's yellow here. So there's a lot of dabble of colors that's going in and around everywhere. So that way, you can just put colors anywhere. Just all what you want to make sure is to keep in mind how the values are, whether they're light or they're dark. You can see these bottom layers are really dark. However, these upper layers are quite light. So those are the only things you need to keep in mind, whether they're light or they're dark, no matter what color you use. And you can we are going to use a lot of wet on wet technique here so that they all look very soft. So what's a wet on wet technique? Let me explain. Wet on wet technique is when your paper is wet, you put some wet paint. For example, you wet your paper with some clean water and then you grab some color, okay, and you add on it. So you can see that how it just blends into it, okay, instead of a very harsh line here. This is wet on dry, okay. The paper is dry and you're putting wet paint. So this is how you can paint wet on wet and wet on dry. And what is the lightness and darkness of a color? So let's say this is one value. Okay, you can see how is this. Now we're going to take some more paint and some less water, and this is another value. You can see how dark and bright it is. Okay, so we're going to keep this in mind, that how much lightness or how much darkness we need. And if you're going to first wet if you're going to put paint when it is already wet, or we're going to just put dry. Okay, so these are the just few techniques you need to know. We're not going to use too many techniques here so that we can keep it simple. For the colors, I've tried to keep it as fun as possible. I'm using two types of yellow, one cool yellow, one warm yellow. Same, different types of blues, because I may just change one, two, three types of blue. I have nice pinks and reds, so you can use that. And we're going to first do for the actual unicorn and then take care of the background, keeping in mind all the colors that we're using. Okay, so let's get started. Some beautiful colors. And again, like I said, you need to make sure it's super light. These areas are the darkest areas, and these areas are the lightest areas. Okay, so let's get started with it. Um, 1 second. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to start with some nice, vibrant blues here. Okay, maybe we'll start with these feathers here because they are very light. Okay, and we can tackle them first. So I'm going to start here, okay, with this blue. Okay, and you can see I'm going to just color on just the top, clean my brush, and just blend the bottom here. Okay, because the upper part is darker than the lower part. Same. Add some color on the top. Clean the brush. Just pull the color down. I'm going to repeat this again in the other areas and just vary it a little bit. Some are more darker, some are more lighter. Okay. Okay. Just following the shape. Okay. Same as you go in the bottom. You can see that they're all together. Okay. Once you finish this layer, we can move on to the other layer. And same, keeping in mind, there are some empty spaces that don't need any color. I'm going to move on to the next shape. Make sure you leave those empty spaces. That way it will really give the shape of that painting. Go slow so that you have more control. You don't have to rush. It's your time to be in fantasy with your colors. Okay. We may have to go to some places and darken it, but we can do that later. Okay. This is good. We can just leave this here. And this side again, we're going to use some nice pinks. I'm going to take some blue and make it slightly purplish. Yeah. Okay. So you can see it's just so light. Keeping in mind again, all those colors. You can just vary it a little bit. Add some pinks of dabs here and there. Make it look vibrant, like really vibrant. This is all about using your color and your imagination. Towards the end on this side, I'm going to make it dark. Okay. Okay, I'll give you guys a minute to catch up. Okay, let's get on to the other side. You can finish this area as well. This blue extends here. Okay, super light. Okay, some pink here that extends from the blue. Okay, and maybe some red and come from here. Just use nice and dark, vibrant colors. Okay. Next, we can move on to the horn and the face area. Okay, for this, I'm going to use this 2 yellows. First on the side, the lighter one, and then the darker one. Okay. Yeah. Then as you can see here, we have some purples, pinks, and yellows all blended. So what we're going to do is we're going to work in layers. Okay. First, we're going to take this yellow. Okay. And add it in some places here. Okay. Wherever you think you want to put that yellow, I'm just going to add some yellow. Really nice light shade of yellow. Okay. And then we let it dry. In the meanwhile, we can go on to the other places where we can put some color. So I'm going to take some blue, mix some of that pink here. Almost, I just need like a purple, bluish purple. You know, you can see that it's blue, but it's got this tinge of pink somewhere. So I'm going to keep that in mind and make some nice bluey purple here. More on the blue side, I would say. Okay. So yeah, that's a good one. Okay, this is going to be slightly darker than the yellow area here because it needs to pop up that yellow on here. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. You have to keep looking at your colors again and again and again. Okay, so I'm always looking at my black and white picture to see how light or how dark I should go. You can see all these areas are so light and all these upper areas are so dark. You're going to keep that in mind. Let that dry. And then you can use some pinks here. Pinks and reds and, you know, whatever colors you can really think of. This, like I said, the beauty of this painting is you can make it your own. Okay. We'll pick some name of that, like this magenta pink that we have, purple. Move on to the pinks here as well. Some of these areas. Add some blue here. And some dark purples here, okay? So I'm just going in the direction of the hair, you can see, and just taking in darker colors and making those brush strokes, okay? Okay, next. We can move on to this area. It's really light and nice. So we're going to take some blue here, okay? And then I'm just going to bring it down super light because I'm going to add another blue here. On the bottom, it's a bit darker. So make sure you put more blue here. This is darker. Okay. Again, we let it dry because we're going to come back to these areas again. Okay. On this side, we have more pinks and purples. So we can go ahead and tackle those. Okay. Make sure you don't touch the areas around it. Or you can come back and do it again. Okay. Let this dry. Okay. And we'll come back to it. But before that, we can take care of these areas. Okay. And these are going to work wet on wet. Okay. And I'll show you how we can do. I'll take some pink here and lightly bring it down. While this is wet, go into some blue. Okay. And from the bottom, I'm going to pull some color. Add some blue here. And you can see how they'll all start to blend because they are wet. Okay. The same way, we're going to continue these areas, small area by area. Look, you can just block them into small areas and then work slowly, like this leg. You can do it in one area, right? So the same way, I'm going to continue some blue here. Okay, these are really light areas, so I'm not going to add too much color. I'm going to add more water actually, or just use very, very, very light pigment of colors. Okay. Okay. Same way, I'm going to use the purples. Okay. So with wet on wet, it's important that you mix a lot of color beforehand because it'll start to dry very quickly. Okay, so it's important that we have a lot of color already on our palette or in our brush, whichever way you're working. But it's important that we have that opportunity to blend these two colors. Okay. And look, again, we get this small area again. We can tackle it. Okay. And this part is going to be darker than the others. So I'm going to make sure that I'm going to add more pigment here. You can see, especially on the sides. But this is going to be darker. Okay. We may have to come back and add some more dark colors, but for now, we're going to just let it dry. Okay. Then we can tackle this small area. Okay. Same. We're going to take some of that light blue, move it on the corners here. Okay. And then move on to the darker blues. Same. Make it bluey, purpley, the blend of it. It's not a very perfect color, you see. It's just lot of layers around it. There's blue, there's purple, all underneath. And if I were to do this painting, if I had a lot of time, I would just pick one color and go one at a time. But obviously, we cannot finish this painting if we do that route. So I have to pick more colors and try to blend them and show it to you. But otherwise, I would just go slow. I'm going to take some more pink. Okay. And add it wherever you can see to make it blend. You can see that there's blues. Take some more of that pink and keep it on this side. Okay, some yellow on this side. See, every time I look at the picture, I see what colors I can blend. And here I see the pinks and the yellows. Okay, and that's important. Same way, I'm going to add some yellows here. And you can see how this continues. It's almost like a continuation of colors that's overlapping in every shape and area, which makes this painting unique because it's almost like blending from one area to another, and it makes it look cohesive. This is a very important aspect of any art. Otherwise, they look like disjointed sets. So it's important that you bring things together. Okay. So here you can see we got the yellows here again. Okay. And once again, we're going to add those nice yellows here. This is going to be a bit darker. The tail is going to be bushy and darker. So I'm going to make sure that we have nice rich colors here. Okay. Okay. That's good. And then I'm going to pick those pinks. Okay. And then like a sweeping motion. I'm going to go slowly into those areas. Maybe add a tinge of purple to give some variation. See that? Like those darker areas. Because that is also important. Take those darks. And pick those dark purples to blend in this area. Maybe add some blue. Okay. Darks. Give it some structure and some shape. Okay. Because those darks are going to give some structure to them. It's very important that there is a range of values here, whether it's dark or whether it's light, to make it look real. I'll take some red. Okay. Take some purple. So wherever I can, I'm going to add some color. I know this needs a little more color. I'll let it dry because they'll all start blending into each other. But before that, we can tackle this area. There are this purples, there's this lighter purple, and there's this darker purple. So again, using those pinks and blues, I'm going to make the purple. The same mixture, blue and the pink, a little more darker. Okay, this is going to be dark here. And just smoothen some areas here. Next, we can move on to even this area. This needs some dark. So I'm going to take some of that darker purple and pink and add some hair here to make it look real. Same here, a little bit of purple. Also, I'm going to take the same purple and create these lines here. Okay. Okay. Next, I'm just going to give you a minute of break and then we'll get started with the other part. As you can see, it's almost coming to an end. We have more than 50% done. We have to just add some darks and some background here. Okay. Next, we can move on to the um, some of the more yellow areas here. Okay. Okay. We can go on to the nose and the eye part. This is going to be really tiny. So you need some dark paint here. Okay, some dark blue. And same here. Just blend in a little bit more of, yeah, light blue here on the bottom. But on the top, we need some dark blues. Okay. Okay. Next, we can go to the eye area. It's the same. From the corner, it's going to be lighter blue. Okay. Same with this, lighter blue. Okay. This probably needs to be a little more darker. Yeah. And when that dries, I'm going to add the eyelashes. Okay. But for now, we can go into some of the darker areas here. Add some more pinks, some more hair here. Okay. You can see. Then there is a variation that keeps adding. Once this is done, you can come here again, take that pink layer again here, light pink, dark pink, and just in the sweeping motion, some areas, not the whole thing, I'm going to add that color again. Okay. In that way, we can just finish this part. Okay, I think we need a little of purple here. Yeah, that's right. Okay, this is good. Next, look at these areas. Now, this look flat. Okay, so which means we need to add some values to make one shape pop up. Okay, I can see that this is still very, very light. So I'm going to go and add some more blue, okay, to this area. Okay, so dark, it has to be dark. Otherwise, it won't pop up. This area won't pop up. Okay, it'll all look flat. Same here. I'm going to add more color. Some more blue on the side. The hooves, we're going to make it darker. Same here. We need more color. You need to make it darker. It has to pop out, okay? It has to look different from the other part of the body. So we're going to darken it up. And remember, your painting won't look really real. Initially, it'll take some time. So keep adding those layers and slowly things will come together. And of course, you need to take a look again in the end if some things need to be adjusted or reevaluated or no. Okay. A little bit of more of that area. I'm just taking some light blue and blending it because I think as it dries, it gets lighter. And we want it to not look very pale, but still look nice and vibrant. I'm just taking some of that paint and moving. Okay, I think we're quite close to finishing it. I'm just going to take more darker blue and adding this layer here for it to pop out. Okay. Next, we have the eyes to take care. So I'm going to take a small brush, a really thin brush. And use some of this darker blue, purple mix. And as you come closer to the eyes, they become dark. So make sure you follow that thing. Okay. Some lovely pinks and blues here, just to give it some color. Okay. Take some more pink here, brighten some of the areas here, so that it just really pops out. That yellow should really pop out with those darker colors, okay? I'm going to take a darker pink here just to give it some structure. Mix with a little of a blue. Okay. Same, take a little bit of blue and that pink here, mix it. And I'm going to again make some outline here for it to pop up in some areas. Okay. Just blending in wherever I can for it to look little wet on wet and soft. So I'm going to take some, just blend wherever I can. Okay. Great. Now we have the background to take care. Again, background, you can keep it the way it is, or you can make it look very dreamy. And I am going to make it look dreamy because yes, it's all about, uh, the fantasy and the feeling. So why not? And you don't have to really draw a lot. I just gave it to put some outline. But this is going to be really fun because what we're going to do is we're going to wet the whole paper and then just throw in a lot of color. Okay, you have to really make sure that you don't touch anything else. Okay, so I'm going to take a bigger brush, and before that, I'm going to make sure I have some colors here on my palette. Mix it up because once we get it started, it's going to all blend in. Okay, it's the same. Okay, so I'm going to just keep all the colors ready, or at least like wet and juicy, so that when I pick them up, they're ready to they're ready to just disperse into each other. Okay. I can already see there's some layers that needs more attention. This layer needs a little more attention. We'll take care of that. But first, keep your colors ready so that they all blend into each other. Mm. I'm just going to blend this here. Okay, let's get started. I'm just going to wet this whole area. And we're going to work in batches. First on the right-hand side, okay? Because otherwise we'll have to move so fast, so pretty fast. And I don't think everybody can catch up with that speed. So I'm just going to keep it on one side. Okay. Remember, it's so hot that your paper would probably dry very quickly, which is okay. It's just humid. And now I'm going to take up all the water from my brush. Sorry. Dip into this yellow paint. And I'm just going to smoother some in some areas, not everywhere. Okay. A little bit of planning is still needed. We don't want like a puddle or like a waterfall that's just flowing. So you can see, even though I wet the area, because my brush is not super wet, I am able to control a little bit. Okay. I am not, the paint is not going everywhere. Okay. And I'm doing this very loosely. It's not a very, very planned painting right now. I'm going to take some of that pink and some of that orange, just mixing it up a little bit in some areas. Remember, your paint should not be super wet. Otherwise, it's just going to all, like say, make a puddle. We don't want a puddle. We still want some shape. Okay? And that's important. Take a tinge of that yellow, that little bit of darker yellow in some areas here. Okay? This is good. We're going to let it dry. Next, we can work on maybe the top. Same. I'm going to wet it. Just the top now. And this side is nice and blue, like the sky, you can say. Okay. Same. The pink. A little bit of blue. Make it purple. Okay. Again, the point is to blend everything. Next, we're going to paint this area. You may have to go 2 or 3 times to get this wet because, like I said, it is so humid right now. It's going to evaporate everything from the sheet of your paper. Okay. So it's totally normal. You can see him just like forming like the clouds, taking some of that pink. Make sure not too much paint on your um, brush. Otherwise, it's just all going to bleed into each other. That's not the effect you're looking forward to. You're looking for more control. Okay. This was too dark, but that's okay. In watercolors, everything is about the play of water, how much water, uh, sometimes about control, because some things you cannot control in watercolors. But I'm going to take some blue, mix those purples. Okay. Just going to take a wet brush and move into this direction so that it doesn't leave like a very harsh mark. Keep it soft, just blending in. I also see some value blending problems here. I'm just going to take some blue here and some more purple here, make it a little darker. Okay. So that it all looks one. Okay. Yeah, I think we're done with the painting. And if you want it to let it dry and add more layers, you can definitely do. I think this area, I may have to go back and add something, some of that pinks. But otherwise, the painting is done. And I hope you all enjoyed the workshop. And please let us know if you'd like to, if you have any themes in mind, and we'll definitely try to incorporate in our workshops. And this workshop is also recorded, so they can refer it again. And if you want any feedback from me, any list of materials or anything you want to ask, feel free to email me, meghawatercolor@gmail.com. And I'll be happy to give you a written feedback, what you can improve on, and how you can grab some good artist materials without breaking your bank. And really, you'll see the difference. The quality of your paintings will improve if you use good material. It is really important. So I hope you enjoyed, and stay cool, everyone. Enjoy your summer. Thank you.